Hey dudes, how you doing? I know you saw a video from me earlier, and once again, if you hear music in the background, ignore it. It's not actually me playing any. But I have to disregard it. Um, I, like I said, I know I did a video not too long ago, but I'm coming at you with another one regarding this. Now, I know I did a review of sorts on this book a while back, but I know a couple of videos ago I did say something about possibly doing my own uh, facts about President's Day in light of George Washington's birthday and President's Day and all. Um, so I guess I just might read off a couple of facts and all. And mind you, the book I'm reading all is from. I'm just reading books. I'm just telling you some of the things that are off the top of my head. I'm just using my book here as a crutch. And if anything I say sounds a bit dubious, use Google. It's your best friend. So, um, but yeah, um, well, mind you, this version was when Bush was in office. Uh, before Obama became president, and I think the guy who wrote this book has updated to include Obama. So, but this is a pre-Obama version. And also, it's uh, even more so. It was this version here that I'm holding is was written before Ford and Reagan died, and um, um, and apparently um, this version here has been written before Nixon died too. So, and as we all know, Nixon, Reagan, and Ford have all since passed away. God rest their souls. But just bear with me anyway. Um, so I guess let's get started. I guess let's. I don't know whether to just jump around or just go in order of presidents. Like, holy, um, forgive me for the constant saying, just whatever. Here's something you may not know. Um, I guess this, for all my American viewers, some facts you may already know, but again, what do you or don't you know? And I guess for any viewer of mine that's not American, I guess you'll find some thing or two about some of our past American leaders. So, like here's an interesting fact. This man here, William Henry Harrison, um, he was only a president for a month because during his inaugural address, he was got caught in a downpour. It was raining and all. And, I point out too that his inaugural address was I think like 2 hours, anywhere between an hour and 40 minutes to 2 hours, something like that. It's pretty long. But yeah, but anyway, like I said, during his inaugural address, he got I think I got caught in a downpour and cold and got a cough. He caught a cold, which evolved into pneumonia, which took him out a month later. So he barely, if anything at all, didn't get much done. So yeah, that kind of sucks right there. But what can you do, huh? Um, let's see here. Grant. Ulysses S. Grant. One interesting fact about him is that as he was one of our college-educated presidents, so to speak. Well, he went to West Point, so I don't know about really call it college, at least not for his time. But um, pursue a higher education, although they didn't start handing out degrees until after he died, but it's beside the point. Now, he is a graduate of West Point. Now, when he got his appointment to go to West Point, uh, I think the person who helped to get his appointment set up and all, erroneously has initials as USG, Ulysses S. Grant, when in fact his name is Hiram Ulysses Grant, HUG, Hug. But I think he tried to correct it, but it was too late to correct it. And eventually, I guess he just went along with it. Not to mention, according to this book here, it says that he didn't like the idea of having his initials spell out a word. In his case, Hug. Like Hiram Ulysses Grant, HUG. That's kind of silly there, huh? Grover Cleveland. Oops. He is considered both our 22nd and 24th president because he, as I said, became the 22nd president. He ran for re-election. He lost. Then Benjamin Harrison came into the picture, and then after Benjamin Harrison was done, Grover Cleveland came back and won a second term. So he had 2 terms that just weren't consecutive, and history considers him both 22nd and 24th president. So, with Obama being our current president, you could say that 44 presidencies were created by 43 men. Let's see here. Bear with me here, by the way. Taft here. He was the only guy so far who have been both president and chief justice of the Supreme Court, because Teddy Roosevelt, I think, put him up to it, and he went up running for president and became President 27. But he did not enjoy himself as president. And of course he stepped down after 40 years. And he said on the day he left office, "This is the lonesomest place in the world. I'm glad I'm leaving." And in 1921, all the way up until 1930, Taft served as Chief Justice, and that was the work he enjoyed. And and not to mention that Taft is the last president so far to have had any sort of facial hair. So, let's see here. Here's another one. Presidents John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, they both died on the same day. July 4th. And I think we all know July 4th, American or not. And to add a little funniness to it, not that death is not this, I don't know, but Um, John Adams was quoted to have said Thomas Jefferson still survives, when in fact Thomas Jefferson had died just a few hours before. So he didn't know it, but it was wrong. So, um, oh, and also there have been two Roosevelts to have occupied the White House. Um, Theodore and Franklin Delano. They were fifth cousins. Although I was taking a U.S. history course back in 2012, and my professor said that they were uncle and nephew. I forget what he said on that matter, but when I questioned him on it, but I don't know how they were uncle and nephew. But like I said, from here they were fifth cousins. Um, and uh, Franklin Delano also actually married his cousin Eleanor. They were fifth once removed, and TR was I think Eleanor's uncle, by the way. So he gave her away at the wedding, and so also uh, Franklin Delano actually had polio, and it was the only president who has been known to sit in a wheelchair, regarding those circumstances. And FDR, was the only guy to serve 4 terms. Because he died shortly into his 4th term. And as of now, it's been written in the Constitution that only a person can only serve 2 terms at best. So Harry Truman was the last guy to have been able to serve more than 2 terms, because it all started with Eisenhower. So, speaking of Harry Truman, his middle name S was his middle name because his parents had a hard time naming him because both of his grandfathers had the middle name that started with S, though they wasn't sure which grandfather to name him after. So they decided to use S to represent both. So, like I said, S was his middle name. It just stood for S. Uh, um, let's see here. Um, with we can attribute to the invention of the teddy bear due to Theodore Roosevelt, and because the common story is known that he was on a bear hunting trip one time, and he refused to, I think, take down a bear cub, and that story caught on, and the teddy bear was born, and that can be traced back to that one hunting trip. Speaking of TR, he was actually blind in one eye, by the way, because he used to enjoy boxing, and was boxing one such time, and he got whacked in the eye, and um, he developed a detached retina and wound up losing vision in that eye. It was his left eye, to be exact. Um, 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 let's see here. These are the facts. Martin Van Buren. Believe it or not, English was not his first language. He is indeed an American. He was born in New York. But where he grew up was a Dutch-speaking language area, and he was also of Dutch descent, by the way. And excuse me. And like I said, the area in which he grew up, Kinderhook, was a Dutch-speaking area. And I think at least when he grew up, I don't know about now. I haven't been there before, but to that particular area. But like I said, just excuse me again. Dutch was it was a Dutch-speaking area, and I guess just Dutch was actually his native tongue, and due to growing up in the area, and English was actually his second language. So he was the only president whose first language was not English. So. And also, here's another thing. We've had two pairs of fathers and sons become president. John Adams and his boy John Quincy, both of which served one term. And then there's George H.W. Bush, who also served one term. And then there's George W. Bush, who actually served 2 terms. So he achieved what all those men haven't done before. Those 3 men. And also, on a sort of related note, Benjamin Harrison and William Henry Harrison were granddad and grandchild. So. And we've also had 2 presidents who have been impeached. Andrew Johnson and, I think most of us know, Bill Clinton. Richard Nixon almost got impeached, but he resigned before that could happen. And thus, he's also the only president to have resigned so far. Also, Barack Obama is the first black guy to be president, in case you didn't already know that. I mean, it's kind of obvious, I guess. Well, although being biracial, he's half black, half white, I guess he still carries on the idea of having a white guy in office. But at the same time, as we know, he's black, and he's got the appearance of a black guy, so he's kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, having a black guy, our first black guy in office, while at the same time still having a white guy in president. So it isn't as far as white guys being in office, it's still going on, just by skin color, just, not trying to sound racist, by the way. But I don't know. I guess that's. I don't know. I don't want to go on for too long, so I guess that's probably some of the facts what I told you are some of the facts that exist out there. So I guess I don't want to go on for too long. So I guess thanks for watching, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and peace out.